Hi guys, Anastasia here, Art Marketing Muse, and today I want to give you 10 ideas or things that you can do right now to try to make money from your creativity. As a full-time artist, it's been a little discouraging lately because we're under quarantine and everything's shut down. So where I would normally make money at galleries, boutiques, things like that, art shows that I can't do, art fairs, I have to get more creative with how I'm going to make money. So I wanted to share some of the things that are working for me and a couple of other ideas that I have. So number one, online studio tour or gallery tour. I did this morning, very impromptu. If you don't have a large following, I would suggest advertising it first or telling people about it, getting the word out so that they show up. But I just did a live video on Facebook. And I just walked around my studio, and I had actually beforehand set up some paintings that I had finished in the last week, and talked about them. Short, simple, and sold a piece before the video was done. So that's one great way to do it. Be active with your community on social media. They're following you because they like you, because they want to know what you're doing. So share with them your inspiration. I have sold a piece through social media every day this week just by posting what I'm working on or what I have finished, and as a result people contact me. So definitely interact on social media as much as you can, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, whichever one works the best for you, you get the most feedback from. Two, your newsletter, utilize it. If you don't have a newsletter, this is the perfect time to get one set up. If you don't know how to do that, check my blog. I've got some blogs on that in the past about how to set up a newsletter and why it's so important. But this is probably the most important thing I have for my business, because people signed up that have either bought from me or like my stuff, and they want to know what I'm doing, what I'm up to, and how's life, all of that. So there's two things that you can do with your newsletter. Offer commissions. This was something I did right in the beginning of the quarantine, and I made it very specific. So one, just put it out there and say, hey, I'm taking commissions right now, and see if you get any bites. I didn't want to make it that vague because I don't absolutely love commissions. So I only did small pieces. I set an amount and a subject matter. And I said, for X amount of dollars, this is what you will get. And I think I got 5 sales from that. So offer, ask. They don't know unless you ask. So let them know that that is out there. The second thing you can do, run a sell through your newsletter. So again, a lot of these people have bought from you before. They like you. So last December, I actually had knee surgery and I couldn't sell. I couldn't do anything. It was getting a little bummed. And so I just sent out my monthly newsletter like I always do, but I offered a sale. This is not something I ever do, so be very careful about offering sales. I see a lot of artists on Facebook who will do these fire sales. It's usually at the end of the month when the rent is about to be due, and they're like, everything half off. The problem with that is the people who buy from you feel gypped, or they don't think that you don't value your work, so they're not going to value your work either. So be very careful with offering sales all the time. I offered one time at the end of the year, and I think I made $3,000 by the end of the day. So that's definitely something that you can do, especially if they know you don't do it often. They may jump on it, especially if it's somebody who's been sitting around waiting and watching, but they haven't pulled the trigger yet. So do that. All right. Number 4, you can license your work to stock websites. So there's a couple of websites. You may have heard of Shutterstock or Creative Market, and people can go on and buy images. Well, an artist made those images. So usually it's an illustration or a vector graphic. If that's something that you do, definitely check those websites out, see what you need to do to sell your work on there. Another thing you can do, let's see, we're on number 5, license to manufacturers. So this does take a little bit of homework, but you've got the time on your hands right now, so it's a great time to do it. If you walk into any store, home decor store, Target, I don't care where you walk into, if there's a pattern or a piece of art on something, a tissue box, a blanket, a home decor print, they bought that image from an artist, or not bought, they rent it, which it's called licensing. So they are paying an artist for that. So figure out what your stuff would fit on, if it's fish related artwork, maybe it would be good for men or sporting goods or fishing materials. So I would go to one of those stores, look at materials that you think your art would look good on, and then look on the back and it will tell you who it's manufactured by. Look up that manufacturer online and find out what it's required to submit your work for consideration. And then they pay you a fee to use your work on so many products. So that's another great way to do it. 6, you could teach an online workshop. So if you have a big following, or even if you don't, figure out again who your market is, who likes your work, and offer a workshop for those people. You could charge $10, you could charge $100. You can do it online Zoom, send them the Zoom link if they pay. You could do it on your phone. You could do it pre-recorded on Photo Booth on your computer or QuickTime Player or whatever. You can offer all those and then send them the link once they pay. So that's a great residual income as well. Let's see here. Number 6. So there is a website called Upwork, and it is for people looking for creative services. So usually like a logo design or a mural. It could be anything. So clients go on there looking for creatives to do work. So you can go on there and bid on projects. Again, that's called Upwork. So it's a great way to get some corporate work coming your way. A much smaller way to do this is on websites like Fiverr or Outsourcely, and many times they don't pay a lot. However, you could bid on a project that's very small, doesn't take a lot of time, and then try to upsell them for something later if they really like your work. So that's another great way to get a little bit of income coming in and get your name out there. 9, build that newsletter. If you don't have it, get it. Find ways to add people, give them something in return, whether it's a private studio tour if you sign up for my newsletter, or you get a sticker in the mail if you sign up for my newsletter, or whatever the case may be. Get people signed up onto your newsletter, because these are the people who like you and who will be your customers. So definitely do that. And then the last thing, collaborate. There's some different ways you can do this. Check out collectives in your town. Check out the reputation, the reviews, and if there's a couple of collective galleries, maybe you want to become part of them, because they're marketing even when you're not. So it's a great way to be seen. You can also collaborate with other artists on projects. So I've had art shows where I've curated art shows where I get 10 other artists, and then they all invite to their audience, and then we have over 1,000 people show up. So that's a great way. Collaborate. Even if you can't do that, you could right now out in the public, you could do a Zoom video with a bunch of artists. And Kansas City has something, I think it's through Arts KC, they've been doing, where every Friday night they get 5 or 6 artists and they give them each a 30-minute segment, and they create a show. And each artist does their own thing, whether it's a musician playing music. I did a studio tour just talking about my studio, and then blast it to lots of people, and make sure to let people know that you're taking commissions and that you're selling products. So go for the ask, because again, people don't know. I'm always surprised when I'm showing my work and I have a website and people go, oh, is that for sale? And I'm like, yeah, it's absolutely for sale. So be sure people know your work is for sale. They can find it. If you don't have a website, get a website. Interact with your social media and get busy. Get out there and get your creative business going. Don't use this quarantine as an excuse to do nothing. Some days we all do that. That's okay. But you can definitely be moving forward during this time and maybe making a little cash on the side. So you guys have a great day and be creative.